Hi, so I am back with the number 9 Gracious block for the Sewcialites Sew Along, and I have my fabrics cut out. This is my background fabric, this is the print fabric. I've drawn lines on it because I kind of want to go with the angled pattern that's on this print, and I'm doing the number 9-inch block. So for the 9-inch block you need 2 5.5-inch squares, 4 3.5-inch squares, and 4 2.5-2-inch squares in both your print and your background. And so the first step that we're going to do is we're taking our 5.5-inch squares and we're putting the right sides together. And we are sewing on either side of the marked line to get 4 5-inch squares once they are trimmed down. So I will sew on either side of the marked line, press it, and then come back to you and show you the next step. Okay, so I am back. I've trimmed down my squares to 5 inches. I've noticed with these ones there's not a lot of wiggle room for your trimming, so you want to try and stay on top of your line as much as possible. So now I have my 4 5-inch squares because I originally stacked them together, sewed a 1/4 inch allowance on both sides of the line, and then cut them in half. So these are done, and I have placed it towards the print side of my piece. So the next part is to take your E fabric, which is one of your prints. So you're taking your 3.5-inch prints right here, and you're going to stack them all. So you have your prints in the corner like this. I'm turning them all to be like this. Then you take your print and you have a line drawn across it, and you're going to stick it into the upper left hand corner of your blocks like this. And you are going to sew right on the line. Once you sew on the line, then you're going to open it up, press it towards your print side or whatever is your darkest color, and I will come back to you when I have done that. Okay, so I am back. I have sewn on the line. I opened it up and pressed it towards my print side again. And so all of these are done. And now I have my background fabric here. I have lines drawn on them with the Fusion pen. And then we will be doing the same thing in the other corner. So I will place my background fabrics on top, corner to corner, lining up, and then I will be sewing on the line that I have marked. So I will be lining all these up, and I usually put a pin through the center just to hold it down, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Okay, so as you can see, I have a line on all of these pieces. I will be sewing directly on the line. Then I will cut off the extra corner piece, and then with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, open it up, press it, and then I will have those blocks, and then we'll continue with our 2-inch blocks as the last part. Alright, so I have done the sewing on the line, and I have pressed it again with my background going towards the print. And so I've got these 4 blocks complete, and now we are going to take the C block, which is our background, with the lines drawn across, and we are going to place them up in the corner of your print side again. So there's a line drawn. I'll be sewing on that line. I'll be doing this with all of my blocks, lining them up in the corner on the print fabric. Sewing on the line, trimming off my excess, pressing it towards my print, and I will come back to you when I am done with that. Alright, so I have sewn on the line, cut off my excess, and pressed it towards my print again. So we have all these corners finished. There's a 4th seam allowance on all of these pieces, and now we're going to take our 2-inch print fabric and put it into our opposite corner here on our background fabric. And we'll line those up nice. And then I'll be sewing along this line on all of them. Cut off the excess with a 4th inch, fold it out, press it to the dark side, and then these blocks will be finished and we can start putting the full block together. And I'll come back to you when I'm done with sewing these. Alright, so I have finished sewing on the line. I pressed it towards my print again, and now we have our 4 blocks to create the full block. So while looking at the diagram, I know that this block is in its correct position, and then the opposite side I need to turn this all the way to look like this so that the 2 prints are meeting each other in the middle. And then for the opposite side, I need my background fabric corners to go adjacent to them. So I'm going to be turning them this way, popping them in like this. And this is what your block is going to look like. So what I will do is I will probably start with these 2, sew them together, iron them with the seams open or to the side. I'll probably press towards the background, not the background fabric, the print fabric actually, just so I have a nice nestle right here to get a good point. So I'll sew these 2 together and I will come back to you and show you my progress. Alright, so I am back. I have sewn these 2 pieces together and I have pressed towards my print tiny square. So my presses are turned this way and then this way on this piece. So now I can sandwich these 2 pieces together and get a nice point right in the center. I'll pin them and also probably pin on these sides, flip it down, sew it, and then probably press this seam open just to make sure it lies a little flatter. So I'll get back to you when I am done sewing this, and then that will be the finished block. Alright, so here is the finished block of the Gracious number 9 Sewcialites quilt along. And as you can see, I have a pretty good point there on the back. All of my seams, except for the middle, are pressed kind of towards the dark print or the darker print. And then the center piece is ironed open. So if you liked this video and it helped you out, please subscribe to my channel. You can also check out my blog at Spinstration on Weebly for more information. I also post pictures there of the process if that's easier for you. And I hope everybody enjoys their day.